Whoa, this is different. I know it is, but I've been wanting to do this type of thing for quite some time. Let me get to the point quickly so I don't bore you all with all this dumb shiz. Games, they provide so much entertainment that you start becoming the needy little human beings that you are and start picking favorites. I'm no exception. If you already read the title of the video, you know exactly what this video is going to be. So let me skip to the point. These are my personal top 10 favorite games, and to make life so much easier, I made it so that only one game from one series is on there at a time, so that the game that the list doesn't become all Legend of Zelda. Spoilers, I really love Legend of Zelda. So let's get this point off with number 10. This was hard making the list. Picking my favorite games was the easy part, but listing them from least favorite to most favorite, definitely just the hardest part that I had to do. I had to nitpick every other game. Ooh, so, alright, don't get trouble with me. I had so much trouble putting this game here, but I felt like this would be the spot the game gets on the list. It's just what I felt. Super Smash Bros., a game that I fell in love with ever since I played Brawl back in 2008, where you would always kick ass as that one character you play because you refused to play any other character because you were good with that one character. I'm talking about Link, for me at least. I remember having fond memories of my brother and I playing this game in a 1v1 style, 3 stock, no time limit, and always winning because Link is too much of a character that once he hits somebody with that down A in the air, you know what I'm talking about, against any person that is 60% or higher, they would fly regardless and just explode and lose his fucking life. It's ridiculous. It would always result in me laughing and my brother quitting regardless. 2014, middle school for me. Didn't have a 3DS, but lo and behold, I heard of Super Smash Bros. Being announced, and it was released on September 13 of 2014. That's 6 years after Brawl. This was a huge, oh my god, they're making a new Smash Bros. Moment. And I asked my mom for a 3DS for Christmas when I heard about that. Instantly, the game that I poured hours into, and I sadly started drifting apart from it. But it still holds a dear part in my heart. Super Smash Bros. Is inside the 10th spot, and it's still very special to me. Dokapon Kingdom, the board game for the Wii and PS2. If you haven't played this game yet, you're gonna want to play it. It's too good. Especially with 3 other friends. And be ready for a friendship ruiner, but also a game that really bonds your friendship together. This game has such a silly little art style to it, with so many little cute things that made this game unique, and also had great gameplay that you'd enjoy by yourself, but you had so much of a blast when you're playing it with a friend. Or friends. Red chest fun. Red chest of fun. If you played the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Here's a little side note. This is a bit of a shorter game because there's not much to describe about this game. You gotta play it. My brother and I had always thought as a joke that the Wii controllers had a mic inside them, because whenever we want to get something from Red Chest of Fun or a chest in general, we would never get it and always get something that would punish you majority. For example, bankruptcy. I'm serious. If you haven't played this game yet, try it. I hugely recommend this game in almost every way possible. Wow, Mario Kart. Woo! We went through many controllers trying to play 4 people at once, or trying to get 4 people at once to play this game back in 2008. Mario Kart Wii, baby! Nobody that I raced against used a kart because obviously the bikes were superior in the Wii version, which heavily changed in 8, but I won't get into that because that's not what the game is about. The game is about racing iconic Nintendo characters, specifically Mario characters, on karts, sometimes bikes, throwing shells of decapitated turtles at each other, or throwing bananas that you ate in a heartbeat behind you to screw someone up, or raging when you hear that iconic sound and know your demise is near. And when you finally get that first place trophy after fighting back and forth between AI and friends, you can properly celebrate because that blue shell didn't screw you over in the last second, causing you to go from 1st to 5th or below within seconds. I remember hating life getting the 3 stars inside Mario Kart 7 because I would get first in the first 3 races and get blue shelled at the last second, costing the 3 stars because you need to get first in every race to get the 3 stars, and always crying myself to sleep because I had to self-restrain myself from throwing my 3DS across the room in a rage-fueled fury. Mario Kart gets its 8th spot with honor, and it deserves that spot in every way possible. Oh, Portal 2. The real last single-player game that Valve made before they disappeared, focusing on Steam. Don't worry about that. I watched a video about the downfall of Valve from a funny guy. I'll link it down below in the description if you want to watch it. It's great. But Portal 2 is such a critically positive reviewed game that there's a huge reason why it should be. Such a great single player story with complicated puzzles, and when you get bored of that, get a friend and attempt a co-op, which had more complicated solutions that you'd start screaming at your friend and what to do to make sure that you beat the puzzle together, but because you're screaming at him, an argument starts, which leads to so many memories. It's a shame Valve stopped making games or even hinting to one, because they were so smart on making those games, and now they stopped. It's sad. If only they would make one more game. I'm not talking about Half-Life 3. I'm throwing that in the gutter. Half-Life 3 can throw itself in the gutter. It's just, I want them to make a game again. Valve, don't make a Dota card game. Don't. It hurts. But seriously, if you haven't played the game yet, Portal 2, try it. It's regardless. It's so good. It's so good. Metal Gear Solid. Oh, Kojima, at odds with Konami, and which Konami failed to make a Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm talking to you, Metal Gear Solid Survive! Why did you even try? Oh my god. Stop. Stop. You see those reviews? Stop while you still can. My god. No. Regardless, the Metal Gear Solid franchise as a whole was such an amazing series that I've played, and I'm sad to say that I haven't played them all. But you better bet your ass that I will, because I need to play the first 3. Finish them, and only then try to understand the story and see if I can really understand it, considering the game's timeline isn't in order of the games. It's got Peace Walkers and 4 and 4 is like the last in the franchise, 5 is like near the beginning. It's a confusing story. Confusing. I recently got the Phantom Pain, Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain, and I absolutely love it. The gameplay mechanics is great, free world where it's all about stealth and getting around, but don't worry, you can also be loud too, as you drop in with a tank, and easily one of the greatest things I've seen is you get a reflex time with a tank, aka slow motion. You aim at a person, slowly turn that gun and shoot because they spotted you with a tank. it's great. It's the greatest thing. It's possibly one of the funniest and amazing things that I've experienced. I remember the first Metal Gear Solid game that I played though, 4. And even though, honestly, it's all cinematics, 8 hours of just cinematics, or 5, I forgot which one it was. It's all cinematics. It might as well become a movie at that point, but it was nice to sit back and just watch. And when you get into it, there are some awesome moments. Metal Gear Rex fight against Raven, and also when Snake is inside a literal microwave and you have to watch the entire scene outside and Snake pushes through, his camo armor exploding and Raiden being like, sup, boom. Hello? Yep. Alright. I don't apologize. Anyway, let me rephrase what I just said. Cough, cough, the Metal Gear Rex fight against Raven, and when Snake is inside a literal microwave and you have to watch the entire scene outside and Snake pushes through, his camo armor exploding and Raiden being like, sup, boom, everyone gets shocked. Whew! I loved the game, personally. Play Metal Gear Solid and you will understand where I am coming from. Do it. Just do it. Do it! Hello, we're back. Don't worry about the change of lighting because I'm recording this quite a few days after the first part because I decided to do the first 5 that so I know what I need to do for this last 5. So let's move on to the number 5 spot. This game is good. Last of Us. I'm so disappointed I didn't get to play this game sooner, because this game has such an amazing story. It gets you into the story very well, and it gets you emotionally connected to the characters. It's brilliant. It's such a satisfying story to watch as Joel starts off absolutely having nothing with Ellie, but eventually starts getting emotionally connected to her, to the point of, and spoiler alert, save her during the last battle, because Joel started thinking for himself rather than what is better for humanity, which is obviously getting the cure, but at the cost of Ellie's life. It makes him such a satisfying, flawed character, but it makes him more human. The reason the game is good is because you feel like Joel. You start off not liking Ellie because she's a dick towards Joel, and eventually you see that while they're getting connected, you start having a connection towards Ellie as well. So much so that when Marlene tells Joel that Ellie's gonna finna die to get the cure, everyone is probably screaming, "No! Joel! Save Ellie! No!" And that is exactly what the game does. This game is just astounding, and if you haven't played it and you have a PS3, play it. Have a PS4? You're a lucky bastard because you get part 2, while I don't because I don't own a PS4. And you can also play the remastered edition, so try that out as well. You know, as I started getting towards the top picks, it started getting really hard for me to get a decision, because I knew somewhere in the list a simulation racing game had to be on there, and because I feel so passionate towards racing games, I decided to put it here at the number 4 spot. I remember going on my PS3 for 12 hours a day, maybe less, maybe more, I don't really remember, and really only playing Gran Turismo online, doing dumb crap like drifting cars and doing fake police chases. It was a blast. Then I upgraded my computer and got Assetto Corsa. This game's absolutely amazing, and for so many reasons. It's on PC, so modding cars and all of that is a thing, and not only that, there's mod support when you do make a server, so you can initial D with friends by getting the initial D card pack and some mountains like the Akina downhill. And if you get that reference, I love you. It's a pretty popular reference though, so maybe a lot of you will understand that. But not only that, I have a 900-degree wheel with force feedback, and that's such a blast because obviously this game is made to do that with. If you have a controller or a keyboard, don't try Assetto Corsa with it. It's not designed very well. Multiplayer is pretty well made, not too many issues making a dedicated server as long as you know how to port forward and the basics of server making, and if you're a fan of racing games, I'd give Assetto Corsa an instant try. It's such a great game. Ooh boy, the top 3. Probably only the reason they're in the top 3 is because of nostalgic reasons, but really they hold a special place in my heart. So let's kick this off with my number 3 spot. I wonder how many of you played this game. Sly Cooper 2 Band of Thieves. This game I played so much on the PS2, and when I heard they remastered it HD for the PS3, my goodness, I was on that on an instant. 2004 was the release date, and if I'm correct, it was the first Sly Cooper game that introduced playing as the other 2 members of the Sly Cooper gang, Bentley and the Murray. I can't do a good impression, I apologize. This game has a certain charm to it that made it so unique. For example, whenever you interacted with those little blue lighty thingies every time you snuck, you would hear that little music in the background. That made sneaking in that game very different. The comedy was also great, and it was just an overall great game. I can't keep going on a tangent, but I'll stop here and just say this. Find a way to play this game. It's my personal favorite of the series. This game. Oh, this game. I couldn't figure out which of the games from the series I liked the most, so I decided to put the entire series at the number 2 spot. Monster Hunter. I remember hating this game as a kid, playing Freedom Unite on the PSP when I was 6, and later got on 3 Try and liking it a tiny bit. I tried Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate for the 3DS and played it all the way through because I realized why the game was so much fun. I tried 3 Try again and absolutely loved it. Played Freedom Unite again, loved it more. Then I heard of Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. I believed it the first game I ever pre-ordered and was totally worth it. because it's easily one of the games I poured hours into. I stayed in my room the weekend that it came out and completely beat the campaign because I played absolutely nothing else. Now with Monster Hunter World for the PC literally right around the corner, I have to probably review that game when it comes out because I'm so pumped to be able to lay back and play it for PC. If you haven't played any Monster Hunter game and you have a 3DS, I automatically recommend Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, and if you have a PS4 or Xbox One, I hugely recommend Monster Hunter World. Enjoy yourself, love it. Now this is the entire reason I stuck to one game per series, is because I am easily in love with Legend of Zelda. If it wasn't for the rule I've placed, I think a good majority of this list would be different Legend of Zelda games. The game's charm is easily one of my favorite, but I decided to put this as my #1 spot because it's my favorite of my favorite. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. This was the first game that wasn't Wii Sports that I played on the Wii. I played it up until the 8th dungeon, where I got afraid and absolutely hated those hand things. I finally was able to beat it, and it was the greatest thing I played in a while. The feeling of the game is a lot different than its previous game, Wind Waker, and it had a strange, dark feeling to it. If you didn't do anything, the world would eventually get sucked into the Twilight Realm, and everyone inside the Twilight Realm would be terrified forever, for the eternity that they're in there. Or something like that. Either way, it's a sad idea to behold. You also get a bond connection with the protagonist's partner, Midna, easily my favorite partner in the entire series. This game also provides some great music. Oh, and since the time and place it has, and it obviously shares Ocarina of Time's like dungeons and all that, it doesn't actually share Ocarina of Time's dungeons. I'm like talking about like the Hyrule Field, the castle, the placements, this Kakariko Village, and all of that. It's the same kind of world as Ocarina of Time. All of that music gets reused, and it's just an amazing game. I'll close with my outro on my favorite song piece from the game, Midna's Lament. If you haven't played Twilight Princess at all yet, you're missing out, and for clarification, I haven't played Breath of the Wild yet, as I haven't been able to, but if I feel like if I did, it would probably replace this game spot. Either way, play Twilight Princess. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm probably going to include something after this outro, but if I don't, enjoy this piece, Midna's Lament, and remember to check out anything, so hit like and favorite, subscribe, and let me know if you want to see more. Have a good one, everyone.